People in Japan toast fine whiskey by saying kanpai, which is the equivalent of cheers, a sentiment Mo Rocca now seconds.
The cool air, the crystal waters, the seaside cliffs, the perfect place to make world-class whiskey. But this isn't Scotland. This is the Nikka distillery in Japan.
Oh, wow. That smells like whiskey.
Japanese whiskey came to worldwide attention with 2003's Lost in Translation, starring Bill Murray as a pitchman for Suntory whiskey.
For relaxing times, make it Suntory time.
But aficionados already knew that whiskey from the land of the rising sun was top shelf.
Suntory Spirits.
And just this year, Suntory won 4 World Whiskey Awards in London. At the company's distillery in Yamazaki, the first in Japan, the process is age-old. From the washback machines, where malted barley is mixed with yeast and water,
It looks like a washing machine.
to the copper stills, to the casks, where the whiskey spends years maturing. And finally, I'm happy to report, to the tasting.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, cheers.
With chief blender Shinji Fukuyo.
Some Scotch whiskey is a very big aftertaste, big smoky. This whiskey is very delicate.
It's like alcoholic honey.
Very fruity and very smooth.
It's very smooth.
And if you focus on the aftertaste, a bit of spicy note still there. It comes from Japanese oak.
When you win an award as big as Distiller of the Year, the best in the world, does that make you want to get even better?
Still, we have a space to improve.
It's that drive to refine, says Tokyo-based whiskey writer Stefan van Eycken, that's helped the Japanese beat even the Scottish in competition.
The idea that today, what you're doing and what you're making should always be ever so slightly better than what you were doing yesterday.
Is that a Japanese characteristic, uniquely Japanese?
Yes, it's ingrained in the culture, this idea of continuous improvement.
Japan first sipped the water of life, as whiskey is known, in 1853, when Commodore Matthew Perry sailed into Tokyo Harbor. He'd brought along some American whiskey as a gift to the emperor. But it would be almost 70 years before 2 men, Shinjiro Torii and Masataka Taketsuru, opened a distillery. Years before, Taketsuru, the son of sake makers, had traveled to Scotland to learn from the masters. He came back with more than samples.
One of the things that happened is that he fell in love with a local lass there and brought her back to Japan along with all that knowledge about whiskey making.
In 1933, with the help of his Scottish wife Rita, he founded Japan's other great whiskey, Nikka, on the northern island of Hokkaido, a place with a climate not unlike Scotland's.
This is the start of our new life.
How proud are the Japanese of their whiskey heritage? The love story of Masataka and Rita became a wildly popular soap opera. And with Japanese whiskeys wildly in demand, no surprise, some rare ones go for as much as $8,000 a bottle at auction. Which is why the next round's on you.